Hey there, Heather, ho there, Chef Cutter Diamond welcome me to yet another Stone Cold Hockey video, and this is nothing to do with any seasons or tournaments whatsoever. This is to do with the fact we have the 1971 New York Rangers taking on the 1975 New York Rangers, which is in the sets. As you can see, the sets, what we got? 64, 65, 67, 68, 70, 71, 72, 73, WHA, WHA, 74, 75, 78, 79, and downwards, the ones who are, I'm highlighting, are the ones that are actually the ones for um the the sets, that Stogo hockey sets. I think it's the best PC hockey game around. Of course, I'm probably wrong, but whatever. So anyway, we're doing the GIACOMIN tribute series, and the reason why is this. Yeah. Anyway, GIACOMIN was a player from June 6, 1939 to September 14, 2025. Played for the New York Rangers mostly and the Detroit Red Wings. He actually was sought after by a team from the Eastern Hockey League, but his brother Rolly was. But because of work commitments, he set Eddie instead. He actually had serious burns in a kitchen accident and made the roster of the Providence Reds, which was the minor league club, the major top minor league club of the New York Rangers. Of course, this was pre-draft, so you couldn't draft these players. So for 5 full seasons, he started for Providence because of 6 starting goalie jobs, and you didn't really have a backup goalie. However, the Red Wings and Rangers expressed interest. New York actually sent 3 players and their starting goalie, Marcel Paillet, to Providence for the rights to GIACOMIN in 1965. He would actually improve for the 66-67 season, actually leading the NHL in shutouts and making sure the Rangers made their second playoff spot in only 9 years. Well, they were, but GIACOMIN was a stand-up goalie. Like, he didn't float down to the butterfly like you see goalies nowadays. A skilled stick handler known for leaving the crease to play the puck, a la Martin Brodeur. He was the starting goalie for the next 9 years. He would actually be put in a kind of a tandem with Gilles Vermeulen winning the Vezina Trophy. But remember, the Vezina Trophy in the 70s was not like it is now in the 2020s. It wasn't given to the best goalie. It was given to the best goalie on the team that gave up the fewest goals. Or if you play 22 goalies for 25 plus games, they shared it. It actually bit people in the face mostly when 3 Montreal goalies won the Vezina in 81, so they changed the rules. Anyway, GIACOMIN actually had a broken hand because of Bobby Hall skating over the back of it. The Blackhawks would actually use the word guts to have his determination. By 1975, injuries would take its toll, and with their worst start in 10 years, they had to get rid of their high salary veterans. GIACOMIN was moved. Many fans were angry when he was put on waivers in 75, and that basically the Rangers would put John Davidson, who they made a massive trade with the Blues with to get his rights, being goalie. It actually worked out in 79. John Davidson was the main guy for 78, 79 when the Rangers went to the final. But still, everyone was shocked, even more so when Detroit decided to pick him up off waivers in 1975. I think that if he wasn't claimed by any team, I think he probably would have retired as a one-team player with the Rangers. The worst part was the Rangers' next game was in New York, November 2nd, 1975. And when GIACOMIN appeared on ice in a Red Wing jersey, fans gave him a standing ovation and cheered for him despite the fact he was on the opposite side. And all that. The Red Wings did win the game. And all that. He actually went 289, 208, 97, and a 282 goals against average. He actually was a broadcaster for the New York Islanders. Well, what the hell? He had 2 stints with the Rangers as goalie coach. He wore his number 1 would be retired March 15th, 1989, joining only Raj Chaber's number 7 at the time, and was inducted to the Hockey Hall of Fame in 1987. So he was the first All-Star team goalie, in 67-71. Went to 6 All-Star games, won the Vezina in 1971 when it was shared for goals against. He was 25th in career wins and 19th in career shutouts. His number 1 second He was ranked 6th in the 100 Rangers Greats book of 2009, and the second highest goalie. I wonder who was the highest goalie. Oh, Mike Richter. Okay, that makes sense. So yeah, he played for Providence in the AHL, and then he went to the Rangers and was decent, but then fell apart. He had some decent years for Detroit, but in the end, it wasn't needed. So anyway, let's do the tribute series. It is a best of 7. So the format is going to be this: we're going to play, but we're making sure Jackman is not 75 Jackman. So we're going to give Gilles Vermeulen the start for the 75 Rangers, save, and then we will auto finish. So we're going to go until someone gets to 3. Game 1 saw the 71 team win 4-2 as Giacomin 71 beat Vermeulen 75 4-2. The 71 goals by Vic Hadfield, Bruce McGregor, Walt Kachuk, Kitchener. Not the first time, not the last time I'll probably say Kitchener. And Vic Hadfield again. 75 Rangers, Vickers, and Rattel. You know, Sean Rattel before he got traded to Boston, of all fucking places. Game 2 would see Vermeulen versus Vermeulen, but we're going to go to Jackman for 71, save. Game 2 sees the 75 team get revenge 4-3 with goals by terrible Ted Irvin, Vickers, Jerry Butler, and Steve Vickers. 71 Rangers, Irvin with a goal, Bob Nevin, and Moose DuPont. Yes, he was a New York Ranger at one point. Game 3 sees Jackman versus Vermeulen, so that's fine. And the 75 team wins 3-2 on Stemkowski, Sanderson, and Gilbert's goals. Yes, Derek Sanderson was a New York Ranger at one time. 71 Rangers, Ballon, and Rod Stewart. I would say Rod Stewart, but that's technically wrong. Game 4, Vermeulen versus Jackman. We save. Auto finish. 75 Rangers are up 3-1. Jackman being Vermeulen. And it would be 71 Rangers, Nevin and Rod Sealing, Kitchener. 75 Rangers, Fairburn. I think it was a Kitchener Ranger, right? Bill Fairburn, I think, was a Kitchener Ranger, wasn't he? Greg Police, Brad Park, and Derek Sanderson. Bill Fairburn. I have a. Did he? I wonder if he was a Kitchener Ranger. I don't think he was. He was from Brandon. Yeah, he played for Brandon. Okay. I was like, I thought he was a Kitchener Ranger. Fuck me. Anyway, the 75 Rangers are up 3-1 against the 71 team. Jackman goes for the 75 squad and Vermeulen for the 71 squad. I know you have other options for 75. Vermeulen, Kurt Riley, and Dunk Wilson. 71 Rangers is either Jackman or Vermeulen. All right, so you'll see players probably playing for both sides. But here's the 75 squad. Steve Vickers, who won the Calder Trophy in 74 for Rookie of the Year. Rod Gilbert, number 7 in your programs. Former Guelph guy who actually injured himself on an ice cream container in Guelph and had to have spinal surgery. Gentleman Sean Rattel. Greg Palès. Derek Sanderson, yes, troublemaker he was. Bill Fairbairn. Pete Stemkowski, former Leaf. Rick Middleton, before he was traded to Boston for Ken Hutch Sr., one of the worst trades, if not the worst trade in Rangers history. Terrible Ted Irvin, break the walls down! Reason why I'm shouting that as my taunt is because Ted Irvin is the father of Chris Jericho. True story. Jerry Butler, future Leaf. Brad Park, one of the greatest, if not the greatest, New York Ranger defenseman of all time. Sorry, Harry Howell. Walt Kachuk. Kitchener! That's right, former Kitchener Ranger, so that's my taunt. I have to say Kitchener. Ron Greschner, who would later play over 1,000 games in a Ranger uniform. Bert Wilson, Gilles Marat, Nick Beverly, Bobby Russo, former Hab. John Bednarski, Dale Rolfe, the guy who was pummeled in the 74 playoffs by the Flyers, and the Rangers didn't retaliate because they were scared of a third man penalty, which would have got one of them tossed. I don't know why one of the fourth liners didn't do the honorable thing. I don't know why. Ron Harris. Unfortunately, he's one of 2 guys who inadvertently killed Bill Masterton in 1967. No, 68, excuse me. Bob McMillan, future Flames star center. Jerry Holland. Joe Sanusi, the guy that they traded to Boston as a throw-in in the Brad Park deal. Dave Maloney, Kitchener, and Heartland Monahan. For the 71 Rangers, you have Davey Bowlen, former Hab. That's Gilbert, Kachuk, Kitchener, Rattel, Hadfield, Oh, yeah, Vic Hatfield, 71. Vic Hatfield, one of the best left wingers around. Scorned by Leaf fans like yours truly because of the fact that he threw Bernie Prawn's mask into the stands during Game 2 of the playoff series. Bob Nevin, former Leaf, that was traded in the great Andy Bathgate trade in 1964, he scored the overtime goal that sunk the Leafs in the 71 playoffs. And that's the last time the Leafs and Rangers have met in the playoffs. Ted Irvin around, Stemkowski's been around, Bruce McGregor, Jim Nielsen, who was a Rangers icon, Park, Fairbairn, Jack Eagers, Kitchener, Rod Sealing, Kitchener. That's right. 3 Kitchener Rangers on the 71 Rangers. Had to be. Ronnie Stewart, Tim Horton, the legend, the Toronto Maple Leaf, who should never have played for another team other than Toronto. I'm sorry, that's silly. He who is a piece of shit, that's Glenn Saver. Andre Moose Dupont, who was a Flyers icon, but he was a Ranger first. Larry Brown, not the basketball coach. Dale Rolfe, Jim Kuroki, and Ab DeMarco. Here we go. So 1 minute battle, and poker. Everyone Rangers delivers a hit. Timing, 2 minutes. Battle, chance for the The Polish Rifle, his first of the series from Rattel and Tkachuk. 2 minutes later. No shot. Gilbert could not score. 5 minutes later. No. 4 minutes later. Gilbert, his first of the series from Nevin and Hatfield. 2-0. 3 minutes later. Session. Rangers take a 2-minute penalty, and that is going to be Bert Wilson. And they make it 3. Break the walls down. Don't forget about it. We won Game 6. That is what we know, and that's the tricks. His second from Rattel. 7 Rangers 3, 75 Rangers 0. 5 minutes later. Penalty on the 75 team, and that's Tkachuk. Another penalty. It's Sanderson. Looks like another 4th goal. Oh, Larry Brown. There's your report. Aiden Dowler. Second from Rattel and Tkachuk. 4-0. Looks like we got a game 5 on our hands. 1 minute later. They score. That's fair. It's Fairbairn. His second from Rolf and Palais. 4-1. 3 minutes later. Penalty on the 75 Rangers as Gilbert gets whacked by Sanderson. He was a plus kill zone. Nothing happening. Aggression. That's a hit. 3 minutes later. Kitchener. That's how you spell Kitchener. Well, Tkachuk, his second from Gilbert and Ballon. And what I do when a team scores 5 goals in the first few periods, I yank the goalie. So GIACOMIN is yanked for Dunk Wilson, and we will auto finish. And the score was 6-1. The 71 squad, Nevin scored from Gilbert off of Dunk Wilson, but the 71 team forces at least a game 6. 75 team, we're gonna go back to GIACOMIN for the 75 squad. We want to make him a winner after all. He'll face 71 for Mune. 5 minutes into the game. It's delivered. 2 minutes later. Fairbairn. And Middleton can't score. Nope. 5 minutes later. Shot? No. 2 minutes later. Still a hit. And after 20 minutes, it's no score. 71 team and the 75 team. 2 minutes later. Yeah, 71 team, 49 wins. Yikes. Why didn't they get to the final? Well, 35 Rangers got 37 wins. 31 team with the penalty, it's Moose Dupont. Fuck the police. Greg Police, that is. His third from Gresh and Marat. 1-0. 6 minutes later. Let's go again. It's not McCarver Park, it's Brad Park. His second from Jean Rattel. 3 minutes later, no shot. 6 minutes later, Tretsky or gentleman Jean Rattel scores off of GIACOMIN from McGregor 2-1. 75 Rangers are 20 minutes away from winning this series. 3 minutes later, no Middleton can't. 1 minute later, Gilbert misses Stankowski. Oh no. 3 minutes later, killing the clock maybe. Kachuk tried to tie it. 3 minutes later, we'll see. Oh, 1 team. No, sorry, they deliver a hit. 3 minutes later. To score! Tie game, Bobby Nevin, his fourth from McGregor and Park. And we go to overtime. 2-2. If the 71 Rangers win, we got a game 7. If the 75 Rangers win, they win the series in 6. Pressure wraparound. Overtime heroics. Greg Palais says second, and you know what I have to say, but I'm not going to say it. From Fairbairn, the 75 Rangers win in 6 games. They did the series on la progression. And the 75 Rangers have done it. They take down the 71 team. GIACOMIN was 1-2 for the 71 team. Vermeer also 1-2. Nevin with 7 points. Jean Rattel 6. Rush Robert 5. Lots of people had 1 point. Of the 6 players that had 1 point. See, Stammer had a goal. Nielsen's was not a goal. Fairbairn's was not a goal. Eagers was not a goal. Moose DuPont was, and Jim Kalicki wasn't. So they had 2. And the 75 Rangers, GIACOMIN was 2-1 on that squad. Vermeulen 2-1. Steve Fickers, Roger Bear, Greg Palais, and Brad Park all scored 5 points in that series. With Irvin, Butler, Beverly, and Rolfe with only 1 point. But the 75 Rangers win that series. So they did it. Every home team won except for game 2. But yeah, the 75 Rangers win the series in 6 games. Believe it or not, that better than the 71 team. I say bullshit, but that's the way the dice roll. And anyway, RIP Eddie GIACOMIN. I'm Jeff Diamond. Adieu.